Yo, so they will kill you. This is the brand new film from Kirill Sokolov, who co-wrote it with Alex Litvak. The film is produced by Dan Kagan along with Andy Machete and his wife Barbara Machete. We have it executive produced by Russell Ackerman, Carl Hump, Alex Litvak, John Schoenfeder, Marissa Sommerman Turner, Rudy Van Az, and Kirill Sokolov. There is line production from Cheryl Etok. Okay, so Carlos Rafael Rivera handles the score. We have got Isaac Booman on cinematography and Luke Doolan on editing duties. The casting was all handled by Bonnie Lee Booman and Rick Delia. Jeremy Reed is production design. Art direction is Kirk Dooman, Sarah Hartinger, Maury McGregor, and Christina Sierra. Michelle Barfoot is set decoration. Costume design, wardrobe is Neil McLean. Hair and makeup, we have Monique Bezundenhut, Lisa Marie Boffma, Marika Collop, Penelope Duplessis, Sarah Harris, Natasha Coppell, Colleen Nicholson, and Nicole Roxborough. On stunts, there is Katharina Arugia, Jeremy Badu, Ruby Burton even, Trevor Byron, David Cannon, Aidan Child, Chantal Cornelissen, Tyron Dad, Andre Dalang, Tony Jean Erasmus, Matt Ezoff, Jared Ford, Trevor Frost, Damian Green, Kerry Gregg, Paul Hampshire, Mark Harms, Andy Hong, Gary Joshua, Ashley Kaiser, Lana Katz, Jenny LaRue, Ibrahim Levy, Kay Lockhoff, Arlwin Marks, Russ McCarroll, Christy Morkos, Leanne Mullen, Usifo Netier, Adam Penton, Paul Pistry, Jack Ridgecommands, Natalie Sabrina Roberts, Alice Schmidt, Christopher September, Mombafa Sinhala, Tiana Smith, Craig Gordon Sobotkur, Franz Sten, Dylan Viljon, Sean Walker, and Jade Wasserfall. Okay, so our cast. Right, we have got Zazie Beetz as Asia Rivera's. Her sister Maria is played by Myha'la. I'm not sure if we have who is playing their dad. think we do. Okay. It is what it is. All right. So then we have got Patricia Arquette as Lilith, right? She's the superintendent of the Virgil. Her husband is played by Patterson Joseph. I think it was Rick. We've then got Heather Graham as Sharon, right? She is part of the club. Her friend Kevin, played by Tom Felton. Who else is there? We've got Armando Rivera. The manager is played by Chris Van Rensburg. Short Steve, played by Gabe Gabriel. Megan Alexander is a prisoner. Richie is played by Darren Meyer. Yeah, that's mainly the cast, right? So the gist of the story: an ex-convict answers a help-wanted ad to be a housekeeper at the Virgil, a mysterious New York City high-rise, not realizing she is entering a community that has seen a number of disappearances over the years. Dum dum dum. Okay, so I knew nothing about this until literally a couple of days ago. I forget what it was, but for some reason, I think because of be good, have fun, don't die. I think, yeah, something like that, right? Because she was in that, and that was great. I think I went back to that for a reference on something, which then I ended up on Zazie Beetz's Instagram, and I saw this. She's in this film, right? Her husband, boyfriend had congratulated her on this film that she'd starred in. And I was like, I wonder what that is. And then literally yesterday at work, a couple of friends mentioned this film. And yeah, I managed to change my schedule around so I could go to the screen unseen. And I thought to myself, I looked at the schedule, I looked at what's out on Friday, and I was like, it could be that. And it was. So I was like, yo, okay. Right? I had no clue what the fuck this was going to be. I just knew there was going to be some blood up in the spot, right? After seeing a shot with Zazie holding an axe covered in blood, I'm like, okay, some shit's going down. And yeah, some shit went down, people. It really did. This was kind of a bonkers film. It really was. But hey, I'm fine with that, right? We start off with these two sisters. They're running away from their dad, who has been abusing them. I think just beating them up. I mean, you say just beating them up, but I feel it's probably preferable than what else could have happened. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that they were running away from that, but they get caught, right? They get caught. Now, Asia, played by Zazie, right? She does something that's like, that's a problem. So she runs, leaving her little sister Maria behind. Did I say her sister Maria was played by Myha'la? I think I did. But anyway, yes, so she left Myha'la behind. And we then, jump 10 years in the future, right? And we have a woman turn up at a place, and we see that it's Asia. And so we are just like, okay, this has got to do with her sister, right? She's taking a job. Her sister must be inside, or there's some sort of connection, right? And I think that's pretty obvious. So yeah, you know that's gonna be the deal. You're not quite sure where it's gonna go from there, right? She meets some people as she arrives at the spot, but I think like, yeah, you're not quite sure what's going down, but you know some funkiness will go down, right? She's taking precautions, you know. She's kind of tried to lock the door and all of that, but if people want to break in, they're gonna break in. So we get this altercation in her room, and it's it's straight craziness, right? The fight is like bonkers. We get severed limbs. There's blood all over the shop, right? Oh man, it's crazy. And straight away, I was just thinking to myself, this feels like it's kind of a cross between Kill Bill, Boy Kills World, and The Raid, right? That's what this kind of, it felt like it was this mash of these three films. Which, hey, that's not a bad three films to be a mash of. I guess because it's like, there's some fantasy elements up in this. Maybe Dread over The Raid, right? But either way, you know, either way, there is a lot of killing. You know, if you're a little squeamish, might not be for you, you know? There's blood, there's gore, there is everything you can think of, you know, and it is all done in a very fun way, right? Because I mean that's the point, right? It's just like, how many people can you kill in you know, crazy situations, right? And we see a lot, right? I didn't watch any trailers. I had no clue what this was, so I'm like, what's happening here, right? What is going on? And we get some throwbacks, right? With people alluding to certain things, but you're not quite sure. Now we interject some flashbacks into all of this, right? There's one on the Virgil, there's one on the Deal, right? We see where Asia ended up, right? And what she had to do to survive there. We also then get flashbacks about what's going on in the Virgil, right? From a certain person. So we see all of this, and I do think the flashbacks came in the right places, you know? Because it's, gosh, how long is this? It's not crazy long. It is, yeah, just over an hour and a half. And I feel that's perfect, right? I don't think it could be any longer, because it would then start to get repetitive. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing with films like this, right? Like Boy Kills World, like Nobody, you know, like Kill Bill. It's just all about the inventive ways in which you can dispose of people. That's what this is, right? You're watching and you're thinking, wait, how is someone going to circumnavigate all this craziness, you know, and come out on the other side, right? What is the Virgil really, right? It's kind of like the Continental and John Wick, but just a lot crazier, right? Which is saying a lot when you consider all the things that have gone down in the Continental, right? But yeah, we see all of this. We learn things about that place, which aren't the most pleasant of dreams, I can imagine, you know? we have another flashback on the sister Maria to tell us what she's been up to within those 10 years, right? And we also get flashbacks on Asia in prison, right? How all of that panned out. So all of these little gaps do get fleshed out to us. I will say you also do believe in the relationships, right? You believe in the relationship between Russell Peters and Patricia Arquette, right? You buy the relationship between, our leading cast, right? In Zazie Beetz and Myha'la, right? You buy that relationship. And I think these things are important, especially for a film like this. You need to buy those bonds because those are the driving forces for what's happening, right? How people are meant to survive and circumnavigate and all of that stuff. It is... I mean, it's got a story. There is a story here, and it does work, right? It does work. Some of the VFX at the end, it does look a little bit, but trying to pull off all of these things, especially in a live action setting, it's fair to kind of go, is this gonna work, right? But I think it did. I think it did for the most part. I think you could maybe have shaved a little time off. All right. But for the most part, this is super engaging because you're just like, how's Asia going to save her sister, firstly? Right. And how could they escape this nightmare situation? You know what I mean? Now we do get a I think we get this good insight into what's driving Zazie, right? Asia. What's driving her on this mission, right? So you're buying into all of the craziness, essentially, right? The things that need to be done. We buy into it all. It is crazy how these kind of circumstances have followed Myha'la, right? Maria. It's a little like, oh, wasn't expecting that. But then when you think about it, it's not really that far-fetched, Because you just go, okay, yeah, I buy certain things of this, like, happening. If you consider all the craziness, right? Trying to get a respite from it all. So, that is this crazy-ass film. You know what I mean? That is just this manic pressure. And I'll say some of these films that were that long don't always work. Some that have the box still don't work, right? Where people aren't really paying attention. They're not really focused on the story. So I think going from this into oh God, what was it called again? Strange New World, I think. It's I think you get something that is fun. There's a lot of fun here, right? When you go with all the deaths and trying to get to where you're going. There's a lot of crazy deaths. A lot of them. Some inventive ways. And you are drawn in by all of that. Especially when you remember what happened to Aisha and her sister, which and the name Maria. Oh man, for a second the name just completely lost out my head. So yeah, you know, it makes sense in a way. Some of this crazy. Some of the special effects do. I mean, you don't necessarily believe them, but I think in when you're dealing with low budgets and everything like that, the effects are decent for that, right? They work in that context. Um, yeah, as I say, look, if you enjoyed Boy Kills World, if you enjoyed the last season of oh my god, my mind's just gone fucking blank. The film I had mentioned, right? It was I can't remember what it was now. I mean, even if you think about, oh my god, I'm just losing everything, man. Just all the thoughts are just like disappearing. Boy Kills World, right? If you enjoyed that, if you enjoyed, um, for fuck's sake, right? Dread, yes, Dread. Yeah, I cannot remember the films I said. Fuck, man, it's been one of those days, people. But yeah, if you buy all of this, and Zazie Beetz is always great, right? If you enjoyed Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, and you'll have fun with this, you know? Because all like we get some crazy deaths. They don't push it too much, which is good. Because I think it gets to a point where it's just like too much would just be like, oh man, went too far. Like, you know what I mean? But no, I think they got it just about right with the number of crazy killings that we have. But it is a lot of fun. It definitely is that. So people do not miss out, right? I highly recommend you check this out at the cinema with really good sound and a big screen. All of that will make it even funner than what it is, right? So they Will Kill Us is out in the cinemas this Friday.